welcome back, guys. This tutorial picks up where the section 1 drops. We are still working on this memory game. Now we are going to head over to the JavaScript section. We are going to code the functionalities, all the functionalities of this game, the flipping of card, the checking if they are a match, and etc. So let's jump right in. So please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you can get more of our updates. Thank you. So this video starts where the other one ends. So and we still have everything just like it was, our CSS just like we left it. In case you want to get the HTML, or you want to know how we created this layout, you can check, you can see the link in the description, or you can also download the source code of this file. So for now, we are not going to be needing those images because we are going to be loading it from our JavaScript. So let's link our JavaScript file. So the first thing we want to do is actually to get those images into our JavaScript file. So I'm going to create an array of images, or image array. Let me just name it that. So it's going to be equal to an array. So every image is going to have an ID and a name. So the name is going to be kind of the path, while the ID is going to be like an identification number. So the path, so let's copy the relative path of this image. Let's paste it. So let's change this forward slash with backslash. So let's copy that because we need like 12 of it. Remember to add a comma. Okay, that's looking good. So let's change this to 2, 3, 4. Okay, actually I'm skipping 3. I don't actually like the image, the number 3 image, so I'm skipping 3. So let's copy this and paste it because we need 12. Because you understand how the game works. We need every image or every puzzle piece is going to be 2. We're going to have 2 of it, so you can find the match, something like that. So the next thing I want to do is actually get that grid div where we display the images, where we can display the image. So I'm just going to name it grid. Could have named it like image display, but let's just go with div. Okay, so we want to select the div, the class div. So let's save that. So let's kind of write a function to like the main function of our game, because every other function is going to be called from this function. This is the main function of our game. So that's why I'm naming it main game. So now the first thing we want to do is actually display images to the screen. So for that I'm going to kind of create an element, the image element. What class should I give it? What class? That's naming class is kind of hectic. So let me go for card. I think I prefer card. So card is equals to document.create element. We want to create the image element inside the grid div. Okay, so card.set attribute. We want to set an attribute inside the image div, and that attribute is going to be a source attribute. So let's kind of copy the part. Let's just test it with this one. So let's save and test. Okay, first let's append the card to the grid display area. So let's append the card. So let's call this function. Let's check what we have. So everything it's good. So now we need like 12 of this. So we're going to write a for loop, like a loop, to actually give us 12 of it, to keep repeating the process. So the index is going to be I, and the array is going to be image array, because I want the number of images to be the exact number of image in my array. So let's save that and let's reload. So we should have 12. It should be up to 12. So now we want to actually add an ID to all of this image, and the ID is going to be equals to the I, because the I is actually changing on every time the loops work. Every time the loop actually works, the I increment by 1. So each of the images is going to have a different ID. So I'm going to add an event listener to all of this image, and we are going to go for the function flip, because this function is going to flip and then give us the image, like the image under that image. I don't know how to actually explain that, but we are going to see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to have I need to get the card ID. So this card ID, I'm going to refer to this function, meaning the main game function. So I'm going to get the card, and I'm going to get the element ID. So that I want to get an attribute. Okay, yes, this attribute is going to be the ID. I'm looking for the ID attribute from the images. So let's kind of console.log this ID. Let's actually make sure that we're actually getting it. Like, so let's save let's open our console. Let's reload our page. Okay, we are kind of having a problem. Okay, I think we didn't reload our page before. Okay, but now it's working. We can see it's working. So whenever we click on an element, we get the ID of that image. So now what we actually want to do is, like, to get the image, whenever we click on any of this image, we want it to flip. We want to get the image in our image array. Like, we want to get the image in the image array. So we want to set attributes. We want to set the source attribute. Whenever we click on this image, we want to actually change the value of the source attribute. It will now be equal to the image name with the index position of that ID. I don't know if you understand. Like, I want to go into my image array, then I get the image with the index position of the card ID. So whenever I click on it, I'm going to get the image. So you can see it's working. So but we are getting, it's only watermelon. So why is that so? Okay, yes, we didn't actually change the images. It's all 1 so this should be 7 6 5 4 I'm omitting the 3 because I don't like the image, the third image, so I'm omitting it. I only need 12, so everything is looking good. So let's continue. Let's change that. Okay, so let's reload. So everything is looking good. So I think the next thing is actually to, like, make our image to actually sort randomly. You understand that we don't want it to be displayed organized like this. I want the image to be scattered. So I'm going to actually sort this image array randomly so that the index position will no longer be like sorted just like how it is. So I'm going to write like a mini function. I don't know how to call it, but we are going to use the random. So plus minus 0.5. So I think this should do the trick. This should sort the image array randomly. So when we open, we see we are getting a random array. So no more the same thing that we actually, the same way we placed it in the array. We want it to switch positions. So each time we reload, we get a different array. So now I want to get a card array. So now this card array is going to be like, it's going to use to save the images, because now I actually want like whenever we actually open like two images, I want it to actually check if it's a match. So how do we actually know that that we have actually clicked on up to two images? So whenever we click on an image, we push that ID to the card array that I just created now. So now whenever the length of that card ID is equal to 2, that means we have actually clicked on two images. So now I want to call a function that will check for match, that will check if those two cards that I've just clicked on, whether they match. So I'm going to create this function here. So function, so now I'm going to write an if statement. If I'm going to go into my image array, okay, sorry, I made a little mistake here. This should be image array. Then I'm going to get the elements with the index position of the card array. Like, you know what is actually in the card array is the ID of the element that we've clicked on. So now I'm going to go to the index position 0, which is the first item on my array, and then I'm going to get the image with the position of the ID, which is saved in the card array. I don't know if I'm explaining it. I want to get the ID because I want to check if it's a match. So I'm going to go for the index 0 and index 1 because that's the only two things we have in our card array. So let me console.log match. So let's just test this. So match. So now else if it's not a match, so I want to kind of console.log not a match or something like that. So let me copy this, paste it here. So I'm going to be not a match. So let's just test our code. So let's go back. So it's not working. So why is that so? I don't know why. Okay, let's try it now. I don't really know why it's not working. Okay, it's working now. Okay, we can see whenever I click on two things, whenever I actually click up to two things, but it's not consistent. You can see it's only working once. So we have to like clear the array. Whenever we actually click, we have checked the two. Let's clear the array so that we can actually go for another round, something like this. So not a match. So we actually get a match. Okay, I actually think someone can win this game. It's very very it's very very hard. So let me console.log my image array so that I can get a match. Let me cheat a bit. So let me cheat a bit. So let me console.log my image array. So let me clean that. I actually want to console.log the id. So yeah, this lemon is on line 9, I think. So we have it's working. So now when we actually have a match, we don't actually want it to like say a match, we want to actually say something else. When we don't have a match, not just not a match. So let's kind of make some changes when we do not have a match. So we want it to flip back to the normal, like to the normal image there, to that blank image. So the first thing, we need to actually get that image, those images. So I'm going to have a variable card, and this card is going to be equals to document dot query select all the image on this page. So I want to get all the images so that whenever I check and I don't have a match, so I'm going to go to the image with the index position of the card array. I'm going to set attributes, and this is the source attribute, and the value is going to be the blank image, which is inside the image folder, png, jpg. So I'm kind of missing something. So there, okay, I want to go to the index position 0, which is the card with the index with the index of the item in the location, in the 0 location, something like that. I don't really know how to explain this, but I'm trying my best. So I want to also repeat this process for 1. So we see when we actually click, but it's actually happening too fast, we are not seeing it. So let's kind of add kind of how will I put it, a time interval or timeout for before this function is called, so that we can actually see the two cards we open. So set time out. So that's okay. This is going to add like a delay, a little delay before this function is called. So let's kind of add like a time frame. So I'm going for 500. Let's check this. 5000. Let's check this. So still happening. I don't think the function is actually working. Okay, quite. I think the timing is too much. So let's test this. Still having the problem. I think I should remove that. Let's kind of increase the time frame and still having that problem. I think it's this stuff that I added here. So let me reduce this to 200. So let's kind of check it. So it's working, just like the time that I gave is kind of too much. So let's make it 500. Let's go back to 500. Wow. I'm actually beating it in this game. Wow. I just got a perfect I got them all. So let's kind of go back. Let's just it's not actually flipping back. So let's see why we have that. Why is it not flipping back? Okay, it's working. So I guess we didn't reload our page. So let's go back. So now it's flipping back. So what we want to do is that whenever we don't get a match, we want your life to actually decrease. So initially you should have like 3 lives. like your lifespan should be 3. So whenever you fail, it should reduce by 1, something like that. So we are going to have a variable up here that's going to be life, and life is going to be 3 initially. So we want to like display it, we want to get the element, that spam element, with a class of life. So life should decrease by 1 whenever we don't get a match. You have only 3 chances, so it's kind of working. So whenever we don't get a match, it's decreasing. So let's see. This is an ID, not a class, so let's go change it. I'm selecting the class instead of selecting an ID. So you also need to change it up there. Actually, I don't know why I'm not actually commenting. I don't know why, but please do try to comment. It's actually good. You can see the code is kind of getting a little bit bulky, so I think it's working. So now when we actually use up all our life, we actually want it to like tell us game over. When you actually use your 3 lives, like let's say game over. So if life should be less than or equal to 3, so once that, we want to like have that kind of template where we have that no game game over. So let's kind of create an overlay. So so inside this, we're going to have an h1 just saying game over. This is just what we want. So now let's tie this. No, the color is going to be white. So I want the background to be kind of red, but kind of a transparent red, very dark red, but really transparent. So let's save that. Okay, let's add like a position. The position should be absolute. The height should be 100%, while the width is 100%. Should have a display of left because we want to center that game over. Should be centered. The justify content center, and align item should be center. But let's change the position of the container. So the container will have the position of relative. So let's reload. Okay, we didn't save our HTML file, so let's save it. Okay, we have that. But I don't like it like it's, you know what, let's just use top, left and right for this. Instead of using a height and a width, let's use top, left and right for it, because you can see the padding there is actually like, we see that line there. I don't like it. So the top 0, right 0, left 0. Also the bottom should also be 0. Okay, let's reload. I think everything is looking good. That in this so font, let's make the font size a little bit bigger, 1.5 rem. I think that should be good. I want the red to be more visible. So I think I like it better like this. So now this new game, I want the new game to be on top of the game over, so that we can be able to start a new game when the game is over. So we will use the Z index. To use the Z index, we need to add a position. So I added a relative position. So the pointer, the cursor is going to be a pointer, because we want it to be clickable. We want it to look clickable. So for now it's going to be none. I'm going to change it with my JavaScript. So I want to select the overlay, document.query, select the overlay. So now I want to change the style. The style I want to change is the display property. This is how we actually like override styles or write style from our CSS. There are many ways of actually doing it. So let's reload. So I'm kind of having a problem somewhere. Okay, it's that sign wrong. So let's just check if so still not working. Wow. Let's go back. Okay. What is the problem? Okay, no, this should be 1. This should be 1. Sorry, I got it before. That should be 0. Once it is less than 0, that means you've used up all your lives. Once it's less than or equal to 0, you've used up all your life. So that is game over for you. So let's kind of write the new game function. I think, oh, are we missing anything? I think let's write the new game. Okay, first, okay, let's go for score. Let's actually, so that the score will be updated whenever we actually like get a match, so we can update our score. So we should change this to live score. So change here to score as well. So let's add that score class. So it should increment by 1 whenever we get a match. So let's add the ID. Yes, should be score, and I think that is good. So let's reload and let's test. So getting a match. Oh, actually I got a match. Okay, I have 2 as my score. So whenever I actually get like 3, I use my 3 chances, it's game over for me. Can someone actually win this game? Because it's actually really tough. Like, you get only 3 chances for like a game that is practically based on luck. So we can increase it if you want, but I just want to leave it that way. Let's go for the new game function. So we are selecting that new game element, with the class new game, and want to add a function to it. Whenever we click it, we added an event listener. So the function is just going to, there's a million way we can write this function, but I just want to make it simple. So whenever we click on this button, we want the page to reload. So whenever you click on the new game, the page is going to reload, so everything will go back to the way it was. So we click on the new game button, the page reloads. So I think it's serving good. You can actually write this function like many ways. Like I would like give you an assessment to actually look for another way we can actually write this new game. So thanks for watching. This is your game, the memory game. So in case this video was useful to you, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. You have the source file, the link to the source file of this game in the description below, so please check it out. Thank you for watching.